It's got an alarm.
Hi, welcome. This video is all about the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max dual motor e-bike. Yup, there's a motor on the back and there's a motor on the front. In the center is a massive battery, which on one charge can take the bike up to 200 miles. And it's a comfy ride with suspension on the front and suspension on the back. Max speed on this bad boy is over 30 miles an hour. And there's a lot to play around with in the menu. Next up, I'm gonna quickly unbox it, assemble the bike, go over features, menu options, and take the bike for a ride.
I think I'm gonna start by removing the battery, mostly because it's really heavy. There is a way to turn off the alarm, and I'll get into that soon-ish. I'm gonna follow the instructions this time and start with the handlebars. However, the tool they provided for this, I've really learned to despise, so I'm gonna be using one of my own. I have to remove this piece here, stick the handlebars on, and then put the piece back on. Next is the front wheel, but I gotta remove this screw first. At this point, I'd really like to flip the bike upside down because it's a lot easier to mount that front wheel. There's a lot of things I can do with a brace on, but I don't want to risk it. We'll try it the hard way. So I'm gonna go ahead and just remove all these parts that are on here. It absolutely does matter how I stick in the wheel because it's got these little two flat spots right here, and it has to go in that exact way. And that's why it's so much easier to do this upside down. Not you upside down, the bike up. You get it. Nope, the bike's gonna have to be upside down. So before I re-brake my arm, I'm gonna go ahead and stake the back seat on. I think it'll be easiest to screw it in from the back, so I'm gonna put this in like so. Slide it over and screw the screw in. Let's give this another shot. So I put in that fat washer first, position it so the wire is sticking down. There we go. So there's the fat washer with a little lip sticking out in this direction. And now I'm going to remove the screws, both of them. And then I'm gonna go by the manual and put everything in this order. So this doodah first, washer next, and finally this. But I do need to put those screws back in. And of course, this will require more than just my hands. And on the other side, I'm gonna remove these screws again. Stick this piece on, washer. And finally the nuts. Well, not really finally, because I still need to screw these two screws back in. And if you want the motor to work, you gotta plug it in. And this doesn't just plug in any old way. You see there's an arrow here, you match them up and squish. So they say if everything was done correctly, the front wheel should spin. Let's find out. Yay! Fender. Optional, but the other one's already on, so I'm gonna put this one on as well. And this little metal piece goes on back. A lot of times you go in front, this time it goes on back. And what I really like is that the light and the fender don't attach at the same time, because that can get really annoying. The fender also attaches down here, so this screw has to come out along with the washer, and then you skewer this and screw it back down. These can be moved around. That will go in here. There's two screws, one on each side, those come out, and then this attaches to that. Actually, I think it goes this way, but the fat side facing up. I'm not really sure what side the washer goes on. It's like a rubbery washer, it's not metal, so I wonder if it should go on the other side to kind of protect the light. I'm gonna do it that way. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Now I'm gonna plug in the light so that it works. The highest the seat goes is right there. But I'm gonna need it just a little bit lower. And this clamp has to be pretty darn tight. So I'm just gonna fiddle around with that and clamp it down. After this, the last thing that's left is the pedals. Oh, I guess I can stick the battery back in too. Oh my God, that is so heavy. Woo! That's a big, big boy. Oh, that scares me every time. The left pedal screws in counterclockwise and the right pedal screws in clockwise. The power button does nothing. It does not turn the bike on. It does not turn the bike off. The only way to do that is with this. And you get two of these. Double click that center button and the bike turns on. Click the bottom button to turn it off. To set the alarm, it's the top one. To turn off the alarm, I think you just turn on the bike. And now it should be fine. Normally I start off these rides by showing how fast the bike can go on each pedal assist mode, whether it's pedaling or with throttle, but I'm not gonna this time because you can literally set that to whatever you want. I will be going over the menu, not sure how deep into it, because oh boy, there's a lot to play around with. For each pedal assist mode or drive mode, you can decide how much assistance on each level you're gonna get from the motor. Max speed is 33 miles an hour, but mine came with a default setting of 31, which can be changed. You see this little dude right here on a bicycle with orange wheels? The orange wheels, well, the way they are right now means it's on auto mode. So both motors may not be on. The bike kind of decides what it'll do for you. But if you want to decide what to do for yourself, you just hold down the I right here. Don't just click it, hold it down. See, now the back motor is on, the front one is not. Hold it again. Front motor is on, back one is off. Hold it again. Both are on. So the difference between auto and both on is the little thing in the center. If you're interested in seeing more of the menu settings, I will have that towards the end of the video, right before I do my outro, because I just want to get to showing the bike in action. But the basics are pretty simple. After turning on the bike, all you really need to know is 0 is just a bike. 1 through 5, 5 being the highest, although not really because you can change it all the way to 9, are the motor assist modes. The higher you go, technically the faster you should be going, but you can also change that. The plus and minus buttons are used to adjust the modes. Let's see if I can pedal up this hill from a dead stop. Both motors engaged. Pedal assist 1. Ooh, nope. It takes a little bit before the motor kicks in, so I'm just gonna throttle my buns up and try again on the other side. Pedal assist 1 with a running start. Let's see if I can get up this hill. And this is just the default settings. I haven't messed around with anything, so not really. I'm gonna put on pedal assist 2. So this is 40% assistance. Pedal assist 3. It's a workout. Not anymore though. Not anymore. Once those motors kick in, it's so easy. There are alligators in this pond, and there's one right there. This e-bike does very well off-road, but now that I'm looking at my video, I'm realizing I should have messed around with the suspension in the front. It's looking a little more rigid than it should be for this purpose, so let me show you how to adjust that. This right here turns counterclockwise, and the more I turned it, the bouncier my suspension got. The suspension on the back is definitely better than I see in most e-bikes. That, along with the cushy seat, and even though I had my front suspension a little too rigid, it still made for a really comfortable ride. I'm pretty sure those fat wheels have something to do with it as well. They're 4 inches thick, and they can roll over anything. Well, maybe not anything, but they can definitely roll over this log right here. Let's ask this guy over here what he thinks of the Aniioki. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you like the two motor? Ugh. What about this fish? You like my two motors? Well, that one's not friendly. How about these guys?
Well, anyways, the front hub motor is 750 watts, 1200 watt peak, and the rear one is 1000 watts, 1400 watt peak.
When it's my turn to go, I'm gonna throttle to the max. I'm gonna pull it back as much as I can right away on pedal assist 5, and you'll see how quickly I zoom past this. On mode 5, if I ever so gently pull back on the throttle, you see, I don't have to go super fast. If I pull it back all the way and hold it there, it'll go to max speed over 30 miles an hour. I don't have to. I can. Look how it takes.
The battery is a very large boy, weighing in at almost 30 pounds. It is 52 volt, 60 ampere hour, 3120 watt hours. And because of its massive battery, the bike can potentially go up to 200 miles, but that is on pedal assist if you're not using too much assistance from the motor. If you're using the throttle, cut that down in half. So about 100 to 110 miles. Either way, that's extremely impressive. So it's also a power backup. You can hook up other things to it, like a coffee maker, pressure cooker, mini fridge, TV, iPhone, light, and what else do they have in this picture? A drone and a fan. The kickstand. I know it's just a kickstand, but it's got this little part right there that sticks out, and it makes it a lot easier to fold it up while you're sitting on the bike. For reference, I am 5'8", and this bike can accommodate riders according to the manufacturer 5'3" to 6'5". Max payload is 350 pounds, and that does include a second rider if you got sitting on back or any cargo you have on top of it. The bike itself is 92 pounds, and I do think that is without the battery. The bike has blinkers, but if I had to make a recommendation, I would like to see something blinking on my screen as well, along with a little noise, because I keep forgetting to turn these things off. And check out the headlight on this thing. It's massive. And I really like that there's a button to turn it on and off, because some companies, they use like either the plus or minus button to, no, it needs to have its separate button, and it does. A lot of things about this bike are very impressive, but the Shimano 7-speed gear shift system, it's pretty standard on these e-bikes. The brakes are really good, no squeaking or anything. They might need a little bit of adjustment when you first get it. These are hydraulic disc brakes. There's a lot more specifications, but if you want to see that, there's a link down below to the company's website. It should take you directly to this e-bike, or you may or may not find some coupons. If they give me any coupons, those will be down below there as well. There's no auto shut off. In the manual, it says the power button, where all the little buttons are, works. It doesn't, and it says there's auto shut off. I left this on all night. It did not turn off. So you have to remember to use the little clicker to turn the bike off. Next up, I'm going to go over the menu as best as I can. Miles per hour will be shown here. The battery life indicator is shown in percentages, but you can change that to voltage. And this will show the total miles you've gone, which can be erased, but I always just leave it on there because I want to see how many miles I've put on the bike altogether. 0 right here means it's just a regular bike. Using the plus and minus buttons, I can change the drive mode, and there's up to 5. So for example, on 5, you're gonna get the most assistance from the motors, or motor, depending on how you have it set up. Holding down both plus and minus buttons gets me into the menu. To go into display settings, click the I, trip reset, click the I. Here, I had to lower my camera settings to darker because you wouldn't be able to see this part. It was just white on my little viewfinder. So you can choose to reset the trip. I always leave it on no, that way I see my total mileage, but if you want to just see your mileage for one trip, you would hit yes. So you can just toggle with the up and down buttons between those two. Next one down, toggle unit. Imperial is miles,
and metric is kilometers. Brightness, I have it set to 15% just because I'm filming this part. Outside, I have it to 100%. So when I click the eye, I can change it from 15, 30, 50, 75, and 100. This is how the battery life will be displayed on the main screen. So you can have it in percentages, which is what I prefer, but you can also change it to voltage. AL sensitivity, there's 5 different options in here. Well, 6 if you leave it off. This is setting the sensitivity of the light sensor. This one I don't really understand, maybe you guys do, but the voltage of the battery is 52 volts, and I can change that apparently. I'm not sure why I would. Maybe someone can explain this one to me. Yeah, I have no idea what this means. You can set up a password for the bike. Click on I. If I put on, I can make my own password, but I am not going to do that. It's already got an alarm, good enough for me. The last one in here, I do find this useful actually, because once you've messed around with the settings to a point where it's just not functioning the way you want and you don't remember what the heck you even did, you can reset everything to default right here. That's it for display settings anyway. There's a lot more in here, and it's all in advanced. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on assist levels. This was the default setting, so right now I'm just gonna keep it at that. If I click on the eye, you'll see assistant 1 and 20%. So on mode 1, or pedal assist 1, you're gonna get 20% assistance from the motor, but you don't have to. You can use the plus and minus buttons to adjust that. And yes, it does go higher, much higher than 20%. It'll go up to the full 100%, but it doesn't round robin. So you gotta keep on clicking, and you can't just hold down the buttons. You literally have to just keep clicking till you get to where you want it to go. Once you have it where you want it, click the eye, it goes to the next one. So for each one of these, you can adjust how much assistance you're gonna get from the motor or motors. Do be careful with these, because one time I had to go from like 20% to 80. Yikes. But you don't have to have it 0 to 5. You can have it 1 to 5, 0 to 7, 1 to 7, 0 to 9, 1 to 9, 0 to 3, 1 to 3, and that's it. So if I go into 0 to 9, for example, click the eye, now you'll be able to have 9 different settings. Next one down is the wheel size. I don't know why I'd mess with this unless I replace the wheels, but I'm just gonna leave it on what they had it on. Speed limit. So they're showing it's 31 miles an hour. Yeah, it goes a little faster than that. I don't know how accurate this is, and I'm not sure if I want to try. These next ones, current limit, speed sensor, assistant sensitivity, and low start, are not at all covered in the manual. I believe this one is for walk mode, so you can use the throttle to walk the bike. This is when you're not sitting on it, you're just walking next to it. By default, it is, oops, by default, it's on no. I'm gonna put it on yes. I thought this was supposed to be to turn the throttle into walk mode on the setting 0, but walk mode only seems to work for me if I'm holding down the minus button. Here, if it's set to yes, that means the throttle speed is limited to current assist level. If you put it on no, it just caps it out at full speed. And this you'll never need, because this is the long way on how to switch between the 2 different motors. So if I click on I can set it to rear, front, full wheel drive, auto mode. But yeah, there's a much shorter way, which I've already shown you. Information, this is just information on the software, hardware, and that's it. So that's it. That's the whole video. If you're interested in this bike, the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max dual motor, I'll have a link down below in the video's description. It's $1,899, and that is free shipping and no additional tax, so that is the price. If e-bikes aren't your thing, or they are, but they're just really expensive, I'll be showing some non-sponsored content soon as well. All right, that's it. You know what time it is. It's cheesy outro time. Toodaloo-dee-loo. Bye. Bye. Toodaloo-dee-loo. I should probably take my phone and my bag